Sure. I don't know. It's all recording somewhere. I don't understand any of it. I just do it. Okay. So Sharon Holmberg, I have admired your work for years. And I wanted to have you on because I want to learn about your process. I want to know about your background. I want to hear about Sharon Holmberg as a person. And yeah, I just love you, but we already went over that. Okay, so thank you first of all for just agreeing to talk to me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm so happy that you're here. You have no idea. So before I press record, you were saying that you taught for 17 years. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and where and what and to whom were you teaching?
I was a decorative, you're so young, but it was decorative and toll painting
Mm-hmm.
back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. And
Yes.
I started out, I painted for probably 25 years
Okay.
and taught at least 17 of those years. I had 5 classes a week, anywhere from 12 to 15 people in the class. I
Amazing.
was an oil painter to start out with. I had allergies to all the solvents and had to switch to acrylics.
Oh no.
So I took a lot of workshops, traveled around the country taking workshops, and developed a love for acrylics. And I taught acrylics almost 15 years. And
Wow.
then I traveled, I traveled to conventions, and I was a representative for folk. If you've ever heard of folk art acrylics.
I have absolutely. I have one of their
Okay.
books actually. Mm-hmm.
I used to go to trade shows. Back in the old days, there was ACCI and HIA and different trade shows. And then I would demonstrate the folk art paints in the trade shows.
Now you're even
Oh.
cooler. I don't even think that was possible, but here we are. Okay, well that explains a lot because no, I wouldn't say you obviously have talent. You obviously have talent. So what I should say is you have a super strong style that is like undeniable. Like when I see any of your pieces, I'm like, Sharon Holmberg, like I know I can pick you out of a crowd. Do you know what I mean? And that sort of developed style, I think, comes from having years of,
And that's funny because, I never drew a face until about 3 years ago.
oh my gosh.
I did folk art painting, but I did not draw faces.
That's so fascinating. Do you know who Lisa Keys is?
No, but I've heard of her.
Yeah, she is a really good friend of mine. She used to live here. Her daughter lives in the same town that I does. And her background is also in the same. And you guys are probably about the same age. So, and
From decorative painters, yeah.
yes. And her style is something that I can't get over, and she's amazing, and that's her. You guys share that same background, which is fascinating. She never taught it, but she almost worked. I want to say, oh God, Lisa, if you're watching this, she's gonna be like, I didn't do that, but like she used to do like series of things like over and over
Yeah,
and over. So that really helped develop her muscle memory, and
absolutely.
so that's so fascinating. Were you creative as a child?
Ever since I could hold a crayon. Yes. Yes, always.
Yeah,
Mhm.
always coloring. That's so fascinating. And then when you said you started in oils, so was that out of college or was that in high school? When did that start?
That was after my first child was born. Let's see, he was born in 68. And after he was born, and then I got pregnant with baby number 2 right away. So I
Mhm.
needed an outlet. So I started oil painting back in the old days. If anyone's old enough, they'll remember Priscilla Hauser.
Okay.
That mean nothing to you, but okay, she was she was the mother of the decorative painters back then.
Okay.
And I started oil painting and I fell in love with it. But like I said, developed an allergy to all the solvents, so I had to switch.
That's such a shame. Although at least you could switch, you know what I mean? It was
Did
like,
switch. Mhm.
so that's kind of neat. So have you ever messed around with like water soluble oils?
I haven't, but that's been on my list of things to maybe try.
Yeah. I have a lot of those. I
And do
never
you like
did them.
them? You like them?
I dabbled with them years ago. I really did like them, as a matter of fact.
They still have the drying time though, don't they? They still have a drying
It's sort
time?
of like halfway between acrylics and oils. So it
Okay.
doesn't have the like a real, true oils
Not as long. Yeah.
take forever. So it's not that extreme, but it's not acrylic fast for sure. So, well, that explains a lot. And when you were doing your oils and then acrylics, what sort of things were you painting?
folk art. I actually developed a line of pattern packets. I sold I sold pattern packets for many years. I had my own line of pattern packets and sold folk art pattern packets, and
Sharon,
uh,
you're a celebrity. I
you know,
knew it.
and then then I switched in the 90s, early 90s. I switched to fabric painting, and I sold a ton of clothing to different boutiques around the country. So finally, like I said, in the early 2000s, I burnt out of painting altogether.
Yeah. Well, that explains. I know you're always so gracious because I'm always like, Sharon, come teach for me. And you're like, no, I already did that.
Been there, done that.
I know. I just love it because you're always like, nope, not going to do it. I did. I had my time. But I've always wanted to ask you like more about, I'm so excited to talk to you today because I always wanted to be like, okay, but what were you doing for so long? You know, like I want to know because you create, I think you post a new face almost every single day, every day.
Right? When you're in quarantine and you're retired, you have nothing to do.
I know, right? That's why
Yeah.
people ask me like, when do you sleep? I'm like, what else am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
you know, so I hear you on that. Well, that's amazing. I love your faces. I know everyone does. I am not alone in this. So I'm so excited to have everyone be able to maybe pick up a trick or two from you today. So you started in oils, then you went into acrylics, and
Then I went to fabrics.
and then you went to fabrics. And what
Mhm.
were you painting on fabrics? What kind of fabrics? Like shirts, clothing, tote bags? What were you doing?
I would go to trade shows and buy garments that were white garments,
Okay.
shirts, white blouses, white things. And then I would hand dye them. And then I would paint on them. I just painted all kinds of things on them, but depending on holidays and things. And I did needlework on them. And
My gosh. And look at all your yarn behind you. What is all that for? I'm so
I'm
nosy.
a, when I gave up painting, I turned to needlework. And I took knit lessons and got crazy with knitting. And then I taught myself to crochet, and I got crazy with crocheting. So yeah,
Your hands never stop
they
moving.
really don't. They really don't.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh, I love this is the better story than I even thought you were. No, I always knew you would tell me something cool, but I just didn't know what the breadth and the depth of your background. And that's super, super, super cool. And then where did you go after that? And I just tell me the whole story because now
Well,
now you're big into pencils, and that's actually one of
I
the
am big
many
into
reasons.
I am big into pencils now, and I can't even tell you why, except it was different than acrylics. It was different than inks. It was just something totally different that I'd never tried before, except as a child, I had coloring pencils and I colored paper doll clothes, but I didn't know what pencils could do. I was amazed when I started looking at YouTube and I could see like, oh my God, that's a pencil? I was flabbergasted about what pencils could do. So I thought I would try.
And when did you start dabbling with pencils?
Probably 2 years ago. Probably 2 years ago.
And then
And
did you
I
just
use them
fall in
almost every
love?
day. I did.
I know you do.
I,
That's
fell-
I
let me tell you,
know.
I've got such a bad habit. I fell in love. I have I have so many pencils.
No, I actually really want to talk to you about this seriously because I don't love colored
I
pencils.
know.
But that's just like they're very slow to work up to.
I might not have loved them 20 years ago. It would have been possible to teach classes with colored pencils
Right,
because they're so slow.
right.
They're so time consuming. It would have been possible for people to come and have a cute project and go home with a cute project. That would have been impossible.
Right. And that's
But
also why they fascinate me because that's what I want to tap into today because I want to know like how many layers, how long did it take you to develop the way that you like to work? And I just want to know all about it because I don't enjoy I don't work at the same
consuming.
I just don't have the time. I literally don't
You
even
don't.
have the
20
time.
years from now you may change, but you don't have the time now.
Yeah, but I'm yes, and I'm like looking forward actually to that and like knowing what the possibilities are around that. So can you talk to a little bit about like your process?
I have watched a jillion hours in colored pencil techniques because I knew nothing and I didn't know of anybody that was teaching it. I just started watching. And so I've developed in the last couple of years kind of what works for me, what works my little whimsical faces. They're definitely not portrait faces. There's some beautiful portrait artists, but
Oh, but they're amazing. They're
when
awesome.
I see people do colored pencils, I want to say something and say, I could help you because I know what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did this morning real quick because it's a real easy explanation.
Yeah.
Colored pencils need to be layered.
Yes,
Can you see that?
I can.
Am I holding that so you can see it?
I can see you have 4 circles. Yep.
Yes. And the first circle says it's 3 layers of pink white color. You can't blend colored pencils until you get at least 3 good layers. Otherwise, there's nothing to blend into. You'll try to blend in that you don't have enough pencil on there to blend.
And in each layer, if I might interrupt to ask a question, are you switching the direction of your pencil lines? Or are they all the same, just 1, 2?
There's no pencil line. I'm applying my pencil with overlapping circles or ovals, really small overlapping circles and ovals. So there's no lines. I will have no line work to make this appear.
Got it. And how long does it take you to fill a circle, what is that, about the size of a quarter? It's a little.
Yeah, 50 cent piece, not, but not, yeah.
And how long does it take to put down 3 layers of one color that big, that size?
5 minutes, 6 minutes, not long, little tiny area. To get 3 nice layers on it. And when I say nice layers, they're still thin layers. I haven't pushed so hard that I'm not burnishing the paper.
Right.
I still have a lot of tooth to the paper, but you need at least that many layers before you can blend. On circle number 2, I just added a burnt ochre. Okay. 1 layer of burnt ochre. Can you see that?
Yes.
The second pencil, and then I took a white Derwent white Chinese pencil, and I use that. It's a magic pencil. It's Derwent white Chinese pencil. Okay. And I use that to blend. Okay. And I blended it together. Okay. And I'm still using circular strokes. I am not going back and forth, up and down.
And are you blending, if this is the circle, are you blending throughout the whole circle? Or are you only blending the areas between the colors?
I'm blending the areas between the colors. Okay. I'm blending the areas between the colors. And when I think I have it soft enough and blended soft enough, then I come back and it's time, if I'm doing a face, to add blush. So then I add some blush to it and I start blending that in. And then to finish it, I add 2 more darker colors.
That's where
this is where you can start really layering. You can put the darker color on, blend it out, add some more blush, blend it out, put some more darker color out, blend it out. And you can build up 10, 12, 13, 14 layers by the color keeps getting richer and richer as you add more layers to it. That's what builds it. And that's what makes you have that seamless kind of painted look. It's so beautiful. It's not back and forth. It's not a back and forth. It's real seamless and little tiny circles and light layers. And it just takes a long time.
Just takes forever. No, I mean, the results are so amazing.
Someone asked before, they keep asking how long does it take you to do a face? And it's hard to answer that. Yeah. And I'm going to show you 2 things, okay?
Yes.
Can you see that face?
Yes.
Took me quite a while to do because she's big. She's on a big, this little face.
So beautiful.
Took half the time. Okay, because she's on a small journal. So it just depends on what size journal I'm working in, whether I take 4 hours or whether I take 8 hours.
Right.
Blend it. So it's hard to say because I work in lots of different size journals. So it just depends.
Yep, me too. I love when you post because a lot of times you'll say what the weather is outside.
Yeah.
And what you were doing while you were drawing. So I love it because you kind of set the scene. You're like, it's a lot of snow today, or my husband's and I'm
in the snowstorm, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's so cute. And so do you find that, do you like to do art while you are watching movies or TV? Like, do you like to art at the same time?
I do. And that's why I like pencils so well, because it's not messy. I can sit on the sofa with my pencils. All I need is a pencil and my paper and a pencil sharpener, and I'm good.
Right.
I can watch 2 or 3 movies all day long and color and Yeah,
Oh my
it's very
gosh.
productive that way. Yeah,
So interesting. I can't watch TV and draw at the same
you
time.
cannot.
I can't.
Now, even
It's
if,
like
no, it just,
I can't do it. My attention has to be like only on one, like on one thing. I can't. And like if my husband was maybe watching football or something that I hated, that I would be like
mhm,
actively tuning out. But if it's something I'm watching, I can't. I can't do it. It's not
can't
weird.
do it.
No, I can't do it.
And then I usually, sometimes people know about my paper. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's only things I use lots of different kinds of paper. There's just certain no paper. I hate watercolor, cold pressed watercolor paper. It's too textured.
Bumpy. Mm-hmm.
Slippery paper, paper out of the printer
Mm-hmm.
is too smooth. It doesn't have enough tooth in it.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
You would hate my hammer mill because that's exactly what it is. Yep.
is it real smooth? Yeah.
Oh,
So
it's like an ice skating rink. Yep.
it's not enough. It's not enough for the pencils to grab onto.
Right.
But I'm not real particular. I use mixed media paper. I just use drawing paper. Nice drawing paper. B makes a nice drawing paper, but I don't use slippery paper and I don't use watercolor, cold pressed watercolor paper at all.
Yeah,
It
that makes sense.
fights, it fights your pencils.
But hot press, I'm sure you like.
Hot press is good. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
hot press is good.
And then, because I've seen a lot of your girls that have the watercolor background.
Yeah, that's my mixed media books.
Yeah, those are beautiful. And I know you like to do, I've only been stalking you for years, Sharon. I know all your tricks. And I know a lot of times you do, what was I going to say? You do pan pastel backgrounds as well, right?
That's a new one for me. That's just in the last few months. Okay. I discovered pan pastels and I'm like, oh, these are pretty neat.
Yeah, they are.
They're pretty neat. And then in the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks, I've discovered stencils. So you'll see the girls with the stencils in the back. Oh, this is really cool.
That was my next question. I'm like,
Yeah,
is she
yeah, this is girl. You know, I'm like,
Yep.
I got all these little stencils. I haven't used them in years. Oh my God. I could put pan pastels on them and it's like so quick, you know, run a little sponge over the back and then the background's on. So yeah, I'm having fun with that.
I saw that. I was like, oh, pan pastel was that. That's exactly what I was just going to say next. I was like, I know you've been using those with those stencils. That's awesome. Yeah, I know, right? It's nice when you like start
fun.
practicing.
And then I do spray it with Krylon fixative. If I've used the pan pastels on it, even for a background, I give it a couple of nice coats of the fixative to seal it. But if I'm not using pan pastels, I do not seal the colored pencil work.
Yeah, I don't seal most of my work, to be honest.
Yeah.
I get those questions all the time, and I'm like, I just don't even feel it's necessary. Same, like,
No.
I don't seal markers, I don't seal watercolors, I don't seal anything. I wouldn't seal. I don't even seal some of my charcoal things if if it's like living in a pad or whatever.
Right.
But so that's good to know. That's a great thing. That I'm glad you brought that up because people do ask sealant questions all the time or fixative. People get very heavy with a lot of spray things, and I'm like, I guess it doesn't need all that stuff. I think sometimes it's just let it go, let it breathe. It's fine.
I think so too. I don't use it
Yeah.
unless I need to seal the pan pastels. I don't use it at all.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't either. Do you set up and like try to draw every day, or does that just happen naturally and you don't even think about it?
I don't even think about it. I draw every day.
Yeah.
Because wherever I'm sitting, it could be in bed, it could be watching TV, wherever it could be in the car waiting for something.
Oh yeah.
I have a pad of paper with me and I have a pencil with me. So I'm just sketching, you know.
Happy as
They all aren't works of art. I'm just sketching, just practice.
Although they do look like works of art, Sharon. So, and speaking of your faces, your style is so strong. Where did you learn originally from? Which artist did you learn originally from? Because I couldn't place it. Like I couldn't say like, oh, I see so and so's influence. Your style is so strongly yours. Where do you think that comes from?
My first started drawing, I saw Susie Blue on YouTube a long time. You know, I saw things she did, and that's what got me started. Then I started just kind of sketching my own because she only had like a couple videos.
Yeah.
Then I ran into Tamara Laporte willowing, and I took her class early on, probably 6 months into my drawing, and I loved watching her draw. So she was a big influence. My first early girls all had wings on them and flowers in their hair and wings coming out of their necks and stuff.
Yep.
I was so influenced by her.
Yeah.
But then the more I drew, the more I guess you develop your own style. All of a sudden I'm putting ears on my girls. Hers didn't have ears, and I'm going to put ears on them. And I'm going to use realistic hair color instead of pink or blue. And I'm going to leave off the wings on the neck and try something else. And I think it just developed over time.
Yeah, it really did. It's so your style is so signature to you. That's what's so.
I'm not a doodler. She doodles and I'm not a doodler. I have a hard time writing on my work and doodling on my work. So
I'm the same. I don't doodle. I doodle, but not in the same free ways. I feel like I doodle with like my white highlights. I get little, and the outlining kind of is my version of doodling, but it's still working on the project at hand.
Yeah, I'm just not loose enough to do that.
I know, and I guess I'm not either. I used to be more, but I share that with you. So Miss Color Pencil Expert that I am, I'm crowning you with that, whether you like it or not. Because I feel like color pencils is a skill that I totally, like, I've done it and I know how to do it. I just don't particularly get enjoyment out of long taking projects. And I think that's okay. And I always encourage my students, like, I always say, like, it's okay to hate and not supply. Like, you don't have to love them all. It doesn't matter, right? But because I don't love colored pencils, I love them like in addition or on top of, or
watercolor added to,
like as accessories to like my main ingredient, I guess, if you will. So I did want to bring you on so I could share some of your knowledge with our other Fun 5 Drawing Club students who might want more exposure and more information. So I'm trying to like bring them some better education. If it can't be from me, then I would like to go get it from someone else and bring it to them. So can you talk a little bit about which pencils you like and why?
Sure, I can. I think I've tried most all pencils.
Oh, well, that's why I'm asking too, because you're a great resource.
Right now, I'm loving the Luminance pencils.
All right, I'm writing notes.
I love Karen Dash's Luminance pencils. Okay. I just cannot find fault with them. They're a wax-based pencil, but unlike the Prisma pencil, you can layer and layer and layer and layer, and you will not get a wax buildup. You do not get a bloom. You put 10 layers down and you do not get a bloom.
I don't know what a bloom is. What is bloom?
Bloom is like if you use a lot of wax pencil, and cheaper ones do it too. Use a lot of wax and you keep building up layers, and then all of a sudden you'll get a waxy haze on top of your work. It'll be cloudy. It'll be a cloudy haze. Then you have to take tissue and start cleaning off the cloudy haze. It's the wax that's in the pencil.
Interesting. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Luminous doesn't do that. And I use them in connection with, her Pablo pencils also, because the Pablo pencils are an oil-based pencil. And you can get, like, here's her Pablo pencil.
And I'm assuming you put the oil over the wax, or I guess
they mix together.
I was gonna say those actually probably don't matter. Yeah, that's like a
doesn't matter. But with the Pablos, I can get a really, really, can you see a really, really sharp point?
Yes.
I mean, because they're a harder pencil, I can get a really, really sharp point to go in and do detail work, fine detail work. If I'm doing the eyes and I'm doing a little eye, I can use these to do the really tiny detail work. I can't get quite that point on the Luminance. There's a nice point, but it's not quite as sharp. Okay, sharp. They're a softer pencil. So I use them together. I use the Pablos and I use the Luminance together, and it works out well for me.
Very cool.
Now there's lots of other good pencils. Carbothellos, are really good.
But those are pastel pencils.
Yes, sometimes I add those to my sometimes I add those when I finish.
I was gonna say those have to go on top, right?
They have to go on
under, right?
No, they can go under. They can be a base. They can be a base. I did a girl last month that the whole base was Carbothellos. I used the whole base Carbothellos.
And then what'd you put on top?
And then I used my pencils on top. And let me tell you, it was about 3 times as fast because I
now I'm excited.
I used the Carbothellos all as my base so I could cover a large amount of area. If I'm doing here, I can cover a large amount of area. I can take a Kleenex and wipe out the highlights and stuff. Then I can come back with my colored pencil and put all the detail in. And I've covered up a large, they worked great using them as a background.
And the Carbothellos would kind of be equivalent to using like the pan pastels, just a
Yes,
different application.
yes.
So you
Mhm.
could even do the background with pan pastels, right? That would be super
Oh,
fun.
absolutely, absolutely.
And
Put
then
them with
go
the
in.
pastels and then come back and put your pencils over top of them. It'd work great. Mhm.
Mm.
It'd make a really nice, it'd make lot. It would save a ton of time. When I did that one last month, it was, oh my gosh, so much faster.
Yeah, good to
A little
know.
bit messier, but faster.
It's okay. Messy I can deal with. I just that's awesome. That's awesome. What else you got? What else you got in that brain of yours, Sharon?
Well, I'll tell you what, people, it's kind of it's not a secret, but someone did it on YouTube and I thought, oh yeah, let's see if this works.
Yeah.
It's hard to erase colored pencil,
Yeah.
but if you only have a few layers down, you can use Scotch magic tape and it'll lift it off.
Really?
It really does.
All the layers?
It will lift, it will lift one or two layers almost immediately, take them off almost all the way. If you have a lot of layers on, it will lighten them.
Ooh.
Scotch magic tape, and it's like, oh, because it's really hard to erase colored pencils and not damage the paper or
Yeah.
so Scotch magic tape worked great.
Do you ever even erase though?
Not really.
I was gonna say
I erase when I draw. When I draw a picture, my eraser is my best friend. When I'm drawing, I have an eraser in one hand and my thing in the other. But
Yeah.
once I get my drawing like I like it,
Yeah.
it's done. I don't erase anymore.
Yeah.
So
Over it. And do you ever have you ever been into using any fine liners or any inks with your colored pencils? Or do you
only on top when I need to highlight, I use Posca, white Posca in the
Mhm.
eyes and stuff if I need, or white on the end of the nose and it's not showing up with the pencil. I'll
Mhm.
use that. But I don't. And in the last couple months, I've been switching and not doing the eyelashes with my colored pencil, but I've been switching to my just a graphite pencil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's worked out. Let me see.
Yeah, you want to show us some?
This dark graphite, well, you probably have this. It's the Palomino Blackwing.
That's my favorite. That's what I'm doing this whole series.
You know,
This whole series
Yeah.
I'm doing right now, I did all with that one pencil, that black one.
yeah, this Palomino Blackwing. If I get it to a really sharp point, it makes great lashes. Okay, so
I believe you. I just
and I
did
can
that.
I can get it much thinner than I could with I can get it sharper than I could with my colored pencil. So
Nice.
that works out better.
Oh, that's a good little tip. Yeah, I just did my eyes with that exact. I did that whole packet with that. I love that black wing,
I do
man.
too. I do too.
They are a dream. Are there any more girls that are sitting around you that you might want to just show up and like just show off and just say what materials you used, so that in case anyone who's been living under a rock who might be watching this might not even know all the beautiful.
Well, I think you've seen probably all of them, but I'll show you this one I had out before. Can
I
you
know
see?
I have. Yeah, I know.
You've
That's
seen her
just-
before. She's just colored pencil with a pan pastel. I did the whole background with pan pastels.
And what
And
about the butterflies? That's ink, right?
Collage. I just
Oh,
printed them. They're collage. I cut them. I just printed them off the printer and cut them out and glued them on. So it's my means of mixed media. Okay,
oh
so
gosh, but Sharon, they're just so beautiful. It's not even funny. When you're applying the pan pastel background on that, look, since it's a larger background piece, what are you
yeah,
using
that's another one.
what,
That's
what are
it.
you what are you using to apply it? Just a larger sponge?
I use a sponge, and then I have some of those tools that come with it. Those little tools that come with
Yeah.
the. It's got the little handle on it, the little
Yes.
thing.
And you just
But if
kind
it's a big background, like it's just a. Can you see that one? It's just a sponge. It's just a. I just use the pan pastels, and I just got darker at the bottom and lighter as I got toward the top
Right.
of the
and
pan
her
pastel.
and her hat and her shirt is pan pastels as well.
Her shirt is pan pastels. Her hat is not.
Her hat is colored pencils.
Her
Watercolor.
hat is colored pencil. And after I did her hat, I thought, shoot, I could have done that in the pan pastels. It would have been a lot easier.
It looks
So
like pan pastels.
her shirt is pan pastels. Her hat is pencil.
Oh my gosh. Oh my, it looks like pan pastel or even watercolor.
Because by the time I did her hat, and then by the time I got down to doing the bottom of her, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to put gray in the back. Oh, that will work on my shirt too. So yeah,
Oh my
kind of
gosh.
discovered that too. So it worked.
Your work is amazing. Every single piece. So you have all those hair sections that you have to draw separately, and then each one gets filled in. How long does it
Yeah.
take you to do like her hair on that piece?
Like this little piece right here.
Mhm.
She's in a little journal.
Yeah.
So, and she's got all those hair pieces. It
Look at
doesn't
her.
take this long.
The snowflakes. Are the snowflakes in white gel pen?
A Posca pen.
Posca, yeah.
Snowflakes are white Posca pen. Mm-hmm.
Did you free draw those, or was that a stencil?
No, I free drew them. I just drew
Oh,
them, kind of made up.
Sharon.
There's made up. And she also has the pan pastel background and shirt. And so, yeah, so
I love it. I love it. Love it.
it's fun.
You know what I'm gonna do, Sharon? If I have your permission,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
since your teaching days are over, you
they
know
are.
what? Could I have your permission to attempt to teach in Sharon Holmberg style, maybe just one drawing,
Go for it. Sure.
I want to try, because I've never tried it. I've never done
Go
a
for
pen
it.
pastel. I'm dying to see if I could do it.
I think you'll like it.
I think I
Make it
might.
with put a stencil with the background. It's really fun. It's so fast and so much fun.
I know.
It's
I love yours with the collage elements on top. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I said, try it.
Okay, I will.
I think you'll have fun.
I'm
And
sure.
don't do a little girl. Do you draw? This is just a small journal.
I really struggle with small.
Do you?
I really do. But I might 6x9. Yeah, I'm not a detail, but
near long, to do as the big ones.
okay. And how do you spell the Caran d'Ache pencils? They're luminescent. I don't even know what these are.
Okay, let me look and see.
Can you spell it for me?
Sure. LUMINANCE. Luminance.
Oh,
And they're Caran d'Ache.
I might even have, so I have so many art supplies, I don't even know what I have, but I think I have Caran d'Ache watercolor pencils, and
Yeah, those are.
don't think I have any actual regular color pencils. Speaking of watercolor pencils, do you ever use those? Do you like those?
Sometimes let me tell you, I'm a pencil nut, so do I have them? Name about 4 or 5 brands and I have them. them.
I know. Yeah. And do you, I know, because I don't see a lot of those, I don't think, of yours, watercolor pencils.
No, I don't use them. Yeah. I don't use them because it gets more into the watercolor and
less.
I guess I could use them as a lay down for the base, and then come back with the pencils on top would work too. It's just like the pan pastels.
Yes.
Lay big color in and then come back with the pencils and do detail.
Right. Speed things up quite a bit if you wanted to. And another, I feel like occasionally people always ask, someone will always pull like, what's your favorite color pencil? And there's always a fight between the Prismacolor people and then what's the other brand? I'm not forgetting. Yes.
They're a good brand too. They're a nice brand pencil. They're also an oil-based pencil.
And do you like those?
I do like polychromos. I
have no strong feelings about any of them. That's why I'm always like, I can't help you. I don't know. They're all the same to me. But I want to focus in and see which one I really do like. I
just got the Derwent Lightfast not too long ago, the Derwent Lightfast pencils. And I have a whole set of those. And I'm just starting to use those and see how I like them too, because they're supposed to be, every pencil is supposed to be 100% Lightfast.
I have those. I actually really like Derwent because they have so many products that I find really interesting of their color. They have like the graphitints, and then they have like the graphitones. They have like a lot of unusual pencils that I enjoy. I like the weird ones. Like all the weird ones I like, but I haven't. Oh, my dog just
ate something bad.
But I haven't tried I do have a couple of the Derwents, and I'm trying to think if it's like, I wish I was in my art studio right now. I actually would grab them.
Maybe Derwent So Soft, or they had a Derwent So Soft.
It's their Derwent, and I think they just say like colored pencils. They might be the Lightfast ones, but the barrels are very large. The barrels and the leads are very large, like larger than normal. And I can't figure out kind of why they're so large. You know what I'm talking about? Do you have them?
Well, you'll find the Luminance and the Polychromos have a much larger barrel than the Prism.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and
They
like I said,
do.
I don't have any of the polychromos. I need to get some. I've been using the same Prismacolor set since for like 20 years. I like haven't even gone through them enough to buy more.
And I always say they're sold, Dick Blick, they sell them individually. So you can
Oh,
buy colors that you like, so you don't have to invest in a whole set if you maybe
right,
don't like them.
right. I know I should do that. I do all my shopping at Jerry's and they have everything.
Do they have it all open
Oh,
stock?
geez, yeah. So I should probably go there and just pick up a couple because I am dying to see the difference. If I could see a difference, yeah, I just want to
Yeah.
know like if the experience is so different between them. But I never get involved in those discussions because I really can't add to them in any way. And then the Pablo pencil is is the Pablo pencil the brand that I'm thinking of that they sell all sorts of mixed media supplies? Is that the brand?
It's Karen. No, Pablo's is Karen Dash also.
Oh, it is.
Hmm.
Jeez, I'm glad I
Pablo.
asked.
Yeah, Pablo's is a Karen Dash also.
Well, I know what brand I am going to be investing in. I mean, I have their like Neocolor twos and other
Yeah, she makes good
products.
products. The products are nice.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. And I do
And
have to say, oh,
once you
sorry.
start using pencils and you start doing faces and skin tones and stuff, you'll see a big difference in the quality of pencils. How
I'm
easy
sure.
it is to blend some pencils and how hard you have to struggle. Not that you can't, but that you have to struggle a lot harder using other pencils.
Yeah, well, I don't want to struggle. So I'm not interested in struggling. So I was just gonna say that's funny before you two brought that up that I find like as I get older, um, or maybe just more experienced, I do find that like I have less patience for, lower quality
Yeah,
products. Whereas for years I could have cared less. I was just happy to be making things. And now I'm like kind of like, well, if I do like to make things, I would like it to kind of look
have a
nice.
good product, right?
Yeah,
Worthwhile. Yeah,
I
worth
do.
my time.
Yeah, exactly. Or to go through all that effort and then to know that like it's not light fast or something is kind of like such a bummer. Um, that's that's amazing. I'm taking all sorts of notes for my Sharon Holmberg class.
And I do not use solvents with my pencils. A lot of people use solvents.
Oh yeah.
I do not use solvents with my pencils. I just use a blender, an odorless. I use just a blending pencil or I love the white pencil. I love this Derwent Chinese white pencil.
Okay. I think I have. Yeah, that's looks like mine that I was just talking about. It has like a thicker barrel. It looks just like
Yeah,
that. I have a whole set of those.
drawing pencil.
Yes, that's what I was just talking about. So you do your burnishing with that white pencil.
I do.
Okay.
I do. After I build layers.
Yeah.
To get really, really, really white, I also have a favorite pencil, but it's kind of hard to come by, and that's the Holbein soft white pencil.
Ooh.
That's my go-to if I really want white. I call it my Cadillac pencil. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's my Black Wings. I'm like,
yeah, here's this Holbein. Okay. It's a Holbein and it's soft white.
So is that
okay.
oil based? Because Holbein makes oil based paints.
Okay, Holbein, it's half oil, half wax pencil.
Ooh.
Okay. And up until 2 months ago, it wasn't available in the United States. You had to go through China to get it. Okay.
Oh.
Now, 2 months ago, Dick Blick started carrying Holbeins as sets and individually. So you can get soft white through Dick Blick, but I think he's the only it's the only distributor in the United States that's carrying Holbein pencils.
I'm taking notes.
My pencil came from China, eBay and China. Okay.
Right,
so
right.
For a long time, I was real careful with my pencil because I couldn't replace it.
Right.
Okay. But now, supposedly Dick Blick has them and you can order just soft. And this soft white is so soft and so white, it makes great highlights.
Oh, wow.
I don't waste it for blending. I use I use Chinese white for blending, but this goes on top. If you really want sparkle in the cheeks or you want sparkle in the eye, this is the pencil that works for that.
Ooh, I'm taking so many notes.
But I never mention it because it's really hard to, unless you're really into pencils, it's hard to come by.
Yep. That's like my when I like do my fountain pen inks drawings. There's
those beautiful inks.
Yeah, and there's a
nude.
Yeah, but there's a one shade of nude fountain pen ink, and it's made by this one distributor like in Paris, and it's like the perfect skin shade, and like they only stock like one a year. So I'm like, I have 2 bottles and I'm like hoarding
Yeah.
them. Like I'm not even
Yeah.
telling anybody that I have these
And
because
you can't recommend them to anybody because they're, yeah.
they're like not even available. I know
Yeah.
they're just like amazing. I'm like, why anyone would want to write with a color nude? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't even make sense. But for art, oof, yes, please. Oh, Sharon, I can't even thank you enough.
This has been fun, Karen.
For hanging out with me. Yeah, I've just admired you forever, and you've been such a long time supporter of myself and my work, and I just want to say thank you too for always just your aura, your support, your
Oh, you're so kind.
loved all the comments to everybody.
You're so kind.
You're so kind. I just love you to bits, and you're such a huge, I want to say asset. That's the wrong word. Like you're just like your presence adds so much to.
And maybe someday we'll meet. I thought about when you were going to do that seminar in Ashland.
Oh yeah, Asheville. Mhm.
Yeah, Asheville. I thought, oh, that's not too far for me to go. I live in Indiana. Okay, but maybe someday we'll meet.
I'll give you a big old hug, Sharon Holmberg. Just watch out, because I'm a hugger. So yeah, just if we do, just brace
Yeah.
yourself, because I will get you.
I am too.
Okay, good. I don't even want to let you go. I want to talk to you forever. I'm trying to think of any more questions for you. So you are in Indiana.
I am in Indiana.
Lots of snow. Are you getting lots of snow right now?
We had snow over the weekend, about 8 inches. I'm in West Lafayette, home of Purdue University.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be, you probably don't get this cold weather where you're in North Carolina.
Yeah, it's not that
We're going to have a high of 6 on Sunday.
Awesome. But I grew up in New England, so I do.
If I post a picture, you'll let me say, and it's so cold here, it's 6.
Yes. Well, I got married I'm from Massachusetts, and when the day that we got married in January, and it was a high of 11 on the day that we got married.
So cold.
Yeah, I grew up in the cold, so I actually love it when it's cold in North Carolina. I need my 4 seasons.
Yeah.
I need all 4.
You like that?
Yes. So I do like it when it's been a cold winter, which makes me actually very happy.
Boston got swamped the other day. Do you still have family in Boston?
The whole family is still there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We lived in Connecticut for 5 years, so went to Boston a lot.
Yes, it's a fun city. I miss it. It's a different. Raleigh is like in terms of like cities. Comparatively speaking, but that's okay. It's also very safe and very cheap, so I am not complaining. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
It's so fun chatting with you.
So fun. I'm gonna have a Sharon Holmberg ode to piece of artwork. And I'm gonna be very brave. I'm gonna try to layer. My last question for colored pencils to you is, do you ever press down really hard ever? Or is you always have a light touch the whole time, even your burnishing layer? Because I always feel like when I burnish, I'm actually applying.
When I'm burnishing, I press down harder.
Okay.
When I get to the very end to get that nice smooth, so it looks kind of like a painted finish.
Yes.
Yeah, I push down harder at the very end. When I get all my colors like I like them and they look good and they're all blended, then I can push down. Yeah.
And you go over the whole thing.
Huh? I do now. When you look at my people, I just burnish the faces. I don't waste time. I don't burnish the hats and the dresses and all that. I just do the skin tones. Yeah. I don't burnish the rest of my picture. It takes too long.
It would take forever. Can you at some day, can you take a picture, like up close of one of your girls, maybe at an angle so you can see how like after you burnish, it looks almost like shiny versus everything else. Can you do one for that?
Mm-hmm. It's shiny.
Yeah. And tag me and be like, here's your burnish picture.
Yeah. It's only her face, only the face. You can't see it on the screen, but only the face shows up shiny.
Right. Oh my God. Her eyes are like real. It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
I like doing them. That's with that pointed pencil.
It's so cool. And do you ever use a reference ever or no?
Oh yeah, sometimes when I say reference,
I just mean for like clothes or.
Yes, for hats. For hats, I don't know how. I'm not a hat person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, is that our timer?
No, that's no. It's just.
And
Yeah, because I'm not a hat person, so I'll look on Pinterest and see what a hat looks like. How
yeah,
does a stocking hat come down on the head? How
yeah,
does a floppy hat fit? Yes, that doesn't come natural.
yeah.
I have to look to see how the things fit.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to do that either. I always look at pictures. And as far as your girls in terms of ideas, sorry, I'm squishing in all my last minute questions before I leave you. Do you ever look at people references, or do the eye color and the hair color and all that just come from
I
whatever?
don't I don't look at
Yeah,
people references at
just
all.
for fun.
'Cause-
Okay.
Yeah, because my girls are so not realistic. I don't look at people references at all. Unless I'm just getting an idea for a hairdo,
Yeah.
uh, or a hat or something, or a shirt on them, but I don't try to go for, any realism or anything like that. So
Right. That is awesome. I just love you.
I love you too, Karen. You're
Thank you.
so cute. You're
Thank
so
you.
bu-
Oh, I just love you. I just do. I do. I love you and your art, and I can't wait to share this recording with our students, and I can't wait to try some of your techniques and see if I
I
can.
just to see how you like it.
I am interested to see how I like it too. I need to like put my big girl pants on and be like, take a minute. You'll
And
be
if
fine.
you have the right pencils and the right tools, it'll just make it a lot easier.
No, I think I think I'm gonna go through my stash because I know I have more things than
See
I
what you have, yeah.
um and then I think I might go to Jerry's and see about picking up a
Pick
few
up a couple,
skin tones and
mm-hmm.
having fun. And I do have pan pastels and I never use them, but it would be fun to couple a few of these
Put them in there.
ideas
Yeah.
that you've helped toss around. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, when you're doing it, like I said, like watercolor, I'd work from light to dark. The lightest color goes on first, and then I build up to the darkest color. So.
Yep. I kind of go both ways. I'm with watercolor, depending on my mood. But I know I'm always up for suggestions, so that's nice. Oh, I'm always in a hurry to make an impact, I'm like, color now. But I like learning from other artists, just like I think all of us are kind of
We all do. Yeah, we do.
lifelong learners. That's what makes us all compatible with one another. We're always trying new things. So thank you for your time. It's
Karen.
been a full hour. I will definitely tag you when I'm brave and I try your technique, but I can't wait to pass along your wisdom to my students, and hopefully we will definitely all benefit from that. And I just want to say
Thank you.
You're
Thank you, Karen.
Bye. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you on the
Bye-bye.
Facebook group. Okay. Bye. I don't
Bye.
even know how to stop.